Thank you, Destiny. How you doing, dude? Thank the
Hey,
fucking
what's up?
lords, dude. Thank the fucking
Man,
lords.
feels like a scuffed podcast tonight, doesn't it? What's up, boys?
Oh my god, it's terrible, dude. It's terrible here, dude.
What's up, Destiny?
We have huge cocked slasher sitting here, dude. This guy, he is just a whole different level, bro. I mean, jeez. I'm happy you're here,
Where
Destiny.
is he? Holy shit, I'm trying to see. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, Rod?
How's it going, Steven?
All right, what are we
I'm
doing?
having a great time. Really, thank you.
Did I miss a
Trainwrecks,
conversation
for
about meeting
inviting me.
women, or?
Steve, I steel man the shit out of your argument.
Oh, no one can steal man my arguments. I am the steeliest of men. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
All right,
good.
well,
It wasn't good enough for me.
For you to come back and tell us exactly what it was, your perspective.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Are we talking about like Twitch IRL categories or women streamers or what's going on?
We're talking the domestic abuse situation. That's what we're talking about right now.
Oh, that video where that woman went in on that guy for like fucking 3 minutes? Holy shit! Did you guys see that?
Yeah, we all saw it. So we have Rod here.
Wait. Are we talking about the same video? Because from my perspective, it seemed very different. I just don't want him to I don't want him to get away with that kind of framing.
I was talking about the video where there was the woman that was like verbally and physically abusing the guy for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, is there a new one out there, or?
Oh no, it was the one. I think it was like MrDeadMoth or something. I don't remember his name.
Oh, okay. So we are talking about the same video. Okay, I'm just putting that out there that's improper framing or bias framing at the very least.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about the one where she threw a cardboard and it lightly landed on him? That one?
No, I was talking about the one where she was throwing multiple objects at him, where she continued to scream at him and intimidate him the entire time, and he asked her to stop multiple times, and she didn't respond to any of his requests to stop.
Well, she is a mother, and she does need help raising 2 kids.
So that means she can hit her boyfriend?
When did she hit him? I only saw her throw cardboard.
Excuse me, are we definitely talking about the same video here? I'm just confirming.
Yeah, we are.
No, we are.
This is feminism, my dude. We're full on equal rights. I don't like it when anybody abuses anyone.
That's what I'm saying!
Nobody should ever.
That's what I'm saying, baby! Woo! Be right back.
If she hit him, then yeah, I totally agree. But she only threw like cardboard.
Do you think it's okay to throw anything? Let's pretend for 1 second. So what you're saying is already a lie. But let's pretend for 1 second that she only threw cardboard at him. Do you think that it's okay to like physically intimidate somebody to throw anything at them over and over again and then to scream at them over and over again? Do you think that's like an okay thing?
I don't think she ever screamed at him. I think she was asking him to get off.
Do you think screaming at
Wait, hold on. Is this real? Wait, is she a troll or is she like actually like a real person here right now? I can't tell.
Wait.
Does anyone else here?
I'm serious.
Did we watch the same video? So you don't think she was screaming at him at all, or?
Do you think?
I saw a pregnant woman that is hormonal and stressed out with 2 kids that she's trying to take care of while her husband's playing a game that doesn't matter if he left it or not. That's what
your
I
argument
saw.
is really irrational. Are you in your period right now? Is that what's going on? Or?
No, why are you attacking me because I'm a female? No, I'm not.
Why are you giving her an excuse to abuse her husband because she's a female? You think just because somebody's hormonal on their period or because they're pregnant, you think that means they could just go ham on their fucking significant other? That's super fucked up. You're like engaging an abuser like you're basically saying because she's pregnant, she has like carte blanche to like go ham on her boyfriend or whatever. That's super fucked up. What do you mean?
Steven, are you only saying that she has this opinion right now because she's literally on her period?
Well, that's what she just implied. She's giving an excuse to the woman's... Yeah, I am, because that's what you just did.
If I was a guy, would you say I was on my period?
No, but what I'm showing you is that what
so
you
why are you saying
No, he's
that
not.
then?
because you no, stop. No, I do not need someone else to
confused
steal
why
man my
you're
position.
bringing up my
Okay, let me
period.
explain. Sure, let me explain what I just did. Yeah, it's really
So
frustrating.
irrelevant.
I know. Well, yeah, it is. I agree. It would be very frustrating for me to take what you say and discredit it because you are hormonal. Much the same way that if somebody was physically abusing somebody else, it would feel really shitty to the person being abused for you to say, well, that's okay. The woman was pregnant and hormonal. That's not an excuse to abuse someone. I can walk through that slow. I'm talking really fast. I can walk through that slower if any part of that didn't make sense. Let me do it like in the simplest language I know how. Just because you are pregnant doesn't mean that you can engage in physical abuse of your domestic partner. Does that make sense?
Physical abuse is when you physically touch them, right?
So no, in the United
she
States,
didn't physically
legally,
touch him. She threw a
so in the
piece
United
of
States,
cardboard.
well, first of all, you're lying because she threw multiple things at him. The one
I
thing
only
you
saw cardboard.
okay. Well, I didn't see anybody slap anybody either. Did you?
I heard a very loud.
Did you
slap,
also
and then
hear
I
the
heard
multiple
someone
things being
crying
thrown and
her
dropped in the
crying
background?
back.
Did you also hear the multiple things being thrown and dropped in the background, or do you have selective hearing?
Yeah, I'm assuming that was him.
So
How
with
can
his
you?
So do you think like he like fucking flexed his dick and was throwing things on the other side of the room? What do you mean it was him?
So you think she started throwing things and you just stood there screaming at her and that she slapped herself too?
No, I think she was throwing things at him and being physically intimidating the entire time.
When did you say? When did
Do
you
we want to
see
load?
more
Do
than
we have
one
time to
thing
load the video?
thrown?
We can actually rewatch it right now
When
if you
did you
want.
see more than one thing thrown though? I don't think you can show the video without Trainwrecks getting in trouble. But like, I'm confused. When did you ever see more than one thing thrown? I'm going off of facts of what I purely saw off the video. You're making
you're not. No, you're
assumptions
not.
that she
You're
threw
not going
more than one thing. No, you are. You are making assumptions. That's what you're doing right now.
You didn't see anybody get slapped in that video. Why did you just tell me you're going by what you just saw in the video?
Okay, so he walked up, stood there, and I guess she slapped herself and started crying.
Okay, so he was sitting at his computer,
That's what you're saying. That's the
with both of
other
his arms playing the game, and random shit is being thrown around the room by a fucking poltergeist. I guess the fucking Ouija board that night was out of control or some shit, and there was a specter just tossing shit around the fucking room. Like, what do you mean?
So I have a question. I don't know how much we agree or disagree, Destiny, because I haven't really seen your review or anything like that yet. So I got asked this question. I want to ask it to you as well before I know your opinion.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the fact of like, so it was asked to me, he got up and slapped her because he felt like he was threatened and stuff like that. Okay. Do you think that that was his only option though? Don't you think he could have got up and maybe just grabbed her? I don't know who's in the right in the situation. I think that's a discussion that we'll get into. I think that, you know, their relationship is something that's very hard for us to comment on because we don't know. Based off the video, do you think that he maybe could have gotten up and done something else rather than just going straight to the slap?
So as somebody that is an armchair YouTube expert, and as somebody that has been in similar situations before, here is something that I will say that nobody will fucking believe, okay? But it is incredibly fucking hard to restrain someone. If you want, we can visit a million different videos of people pulling an old Asian man out of an airplane, of a massive 200-pound police officer yanking a little black 14-year-old girl out of a chair. We can watch the video of the one lady being pulled out of the crowd in like the Trump protest where she punches the officer. It is incredibly fucking hard to restrain somebody that doesn't want to be restrained. If that man, so let me bring up two things. If that man would have tried to restrain that woman, both parties would have definitely suffered more damage, without a doubt in my mind. She would have been bruised. It's very fucking easy to break bones on smaller people. There could have been more damage done to like a pregnancy-related thing in terms of harming the baby. Those are three things that I'm absolutely positive of. And then as a side point, when the police showed up to this guy's house to arrest him, the charge that was filed was confirmed that there were absolutely no visible injuries on the woman, like not even like a fucking bruise or a cut. So, I mean, like, are slaps bad? Yeah, sure. But we're talking, like, bare minimum amount of force used. I know it's loud and the lady's, like, fucking screaming, so it seems, like, really emotional and shit. But, like,
Destiny,
a slap is... Yeah?
But how can you sit here on the one hand and make it seem as though a cardboard box being thrown in the vicinity of someone is an absolute severe act of violence, and then turn around and be like, well, the police report didn't actually mention that the slap was that severe, so it must have not been that bad. I mean, come on, dude.
First of all, let me say one thing.
Okay, wait, no. Don't say anything. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say this
No,
because this is on my bro, okay? Because goddamn, I wanted to fire off into a fucking rape analogy so fucking bad, but I'm not going to, okay? Let me say this thing, okay? When you are in a domestic abuse situation, okay, much the same that we grant with every other victim of this type of crime, okay, you would never, ever tell a woman, okay, who is being intimidated by a guy, right, that might lead to a sexual altercation that she didn't want. You would never say, like, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just push him off of you and walk out? Why didn't you just do the most rational fucking thing that any normal person would do, right? Are there better options in terms of, like, things you could do? Sure. But when you have somebody that is aggressing on you in a domestic abuse situation that has you trapped in a room, that has your property held hostage because she was threatening to break stuff and was breaking stuff in the background, right? And is being physically intimidating. What she did easily qualifies for assault. I'm sorry, not assault, but battery, because she is throwing things at him. Even if it's just a cardboard box, you can get charged for assault for spitting on someone in the United States. I don't know if anybody cares about the legality of it, right? But when you have all of these things going on, I don't expect the guy to be like this hyper rational, perfect fucking Tom Cruise, Jason Bourne like actor that is going to subdue the woman without causing any harm, place her neatly in the corner, and exit the fucking room. Nobody acts that way, like in domestic abuse situations. It just doesn't happen.
I understand that he was not being the most rational person. I totally understand that. I'm not expecting him to be the most rational person. But in that instance, getting up, slapping the person, and then sitting back down to continue doing what he was doing, thinking that this was going to de-escalate the situation was never going to work. And the question I pose to you is, if you think that this is and there's no doubt in my mind that she is also at fault. She is absolutely at fault. She escalated it. She started it. From as far as what we've seen, she absolutely started it. But for him to turn around and slap this person and then sit back down, assuming that that everything was going to be fine, is not the best way to deal with this at all. Now,
the best way to deal with it would have been for him
there, because he still sat down thinking that this was over.
The best way for him to have dealt with it is probably for him to leave, understanding that there's a good possibility that she's about to break all of his shit. That probably would have been the best way for him to handle it. But I mean, it's real hard for me to side with a person that is constantly escalating.
That, by the way, no, neither of us know that. No, you're setting.
She's already breaking. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase it so we don't have to spend all this time on bullshit points, okay? There is a reasonable expectation that if he leaves from that situation, she will break his shit. I think that anybody that is looking at that with a shred of honesty will easily admit that there is a good chance that she's going to start breaking his shit. She's already trying to break his shit in the video. You see his computer fucking shaking. You hear something being broken in the background. Like, there's like a decent chance that she's going to start breaking his shit.
That's like me saying he tried to kill her with a slap, though, Destiny. Like, there's a decent
No, there's not. Except no. There's no chance that he tried to kill her with a slap, because if that guy wanted to kill that woman, he
knock her out with a slap.
No, if he wanted to knock her out, he could have very easily done it. He could have just fucking punched her.
So I just real quick, I'm just going to throw something in there real quick.
Real quick. No, Chinglish, I'm so sorry. Before you speak, I'm so sorry, Chinglish. Selene actually had something to say earlier, and Hasan spoke over.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Selene.
I was just going to say I'm really not surprised by the way that Destiny is acting ever since he got here. Like, just really aggressive. You were really, really, really rude to... Sorry, I didn't catch it. Is it like Miss Sleepy or...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you have extremely negative energy. Like, you're kind of a bully. You totally bullied her.
I am. Listen.
I'm really not surprised that you have this opinion at all. This totally fits with your personality.
And I totally agree. I totally agree with you. If you were in a room and somebody walked in... Sure. If you were in a room and somebody walked in and we were talking about somebody...
You're not that guy, and none of us are, and none of us know what really happened, really.
Okay, sure.
Everybody watched the video, sees different things. Like, we don't know what's going on with their relationship with that family. Like, we can't say, like...
We can make a couple of pretty fair statements. So what I'm walking into is the equivalent of somebody walking into a room.
I watched, like, what we're even arguing about, to be honest. Like...
Then why are you talking?
Because you're annoying me.
Then why are you in this call?
Okay, can I quickly say something?
Okay, I'm just saying, like, I'll let you go real quick. I'm just saying, like, what I came into is literally the equivalent of, like, walking into...
a really nice discussion, and, like, you're just being really aggressive, and it's rude.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad that it's rude for you, okay? What I basically walk into is a bunch of abuse apologia, and it's the equivalent of somebody saying the reason why that guy raped her was because he's a bodybuilder and he was just roiding that day. His hormones were out of fucking control, and he just fucking raped her. But I mean, like, damn, dude, like, give him some slack. You know, his hormones were raging. When I walk in and somebody tries to excuse a woman engaging in domestic abuse, like, very clearly, and the first thing that goes out the fucking mouth is, well, she's pregnant. What the fuck kind of abuser apologia is that? That's super fucked up. So many levels.
Gotten arrested then instead of him?
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. She started the physical altercation and she re-escalated 3 different fucking times in that video, and she never a single time responded to a request to stop what she was doing ever. Of course, she should have been fucking arrested.
Okay, so my point is sort of along the lines of that. So I was a bouncer in Australia, and this happened in the same city that I live in. I just want to make, again, before it gets clipped, I don't know what side of the fence I stand on, because I think we need to know about their relationship a lot more based off what we saw in the clip. So when you're a bouncer, if something happens at a club, the exact thing you have to say in court is, I use the exact amount of force necessary to control the situation. So if we have if there's something that happens at a club, there's a fight, we're allowed to use as much force as we need to de-escalate that situation. If I was in a situation at a club and someone threw something at me and I punched them, or I slap them, I would lose in court as a bouncer and as someone that works in security, whether I'm doing private security or whether I'm doing security. Because even if I didn't, I need to try and restrain them, whether that means they get bruised or a broken bone or anything like that. Court-wise, if I got thrown at or they were yelling at me or something like that, and I felt intimidated, if I slap them or punch them, I will lose. I will lose in court, 100%.
Yeah, that's cool, and I totally understand that, but this is domestic abuse.
Because what you're saying is that you used more force than necessary?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I'm going back to the thing of...
Can I ask? No.
I feel like you could have done something different rather than slap her.
Okay,
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Sure, so let's do this.
I get what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, though. I'm not trying to argue with what you're saying or disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying from a perspective of someone that worked in security, if I was to slap them, I would lose in court.
Yeah, I understand that, but this is domestic abuse. It's way different than I am a security guard. This is what I signed up for. I'm at my place of work, and this is in the purview of my job. I think that's a way different situation than I am in my house, like in a room, being cornered by somebody that is domestically abusing me. Like, I think the situations are totally disanalogous to one another. But I do agree, though, in a reasonable amount of force. For instance, if the guy went and like fucking like choke slammed her or like threw her out the fucking window, then I would like 100% be on board here. But like the idea that like I don't know, like it's very strange to me. Like slapping is like the bare minimum amount of physical force. I'm really surprised if you worked in security to say that he should have tried to restrain her.
That's not true at all, dude. You're setting it up. You're setting it up to make it seem as though this is the only option that he had. That the slap was the least he could have done to get out of this situation.
No. The least amount of physical force.
But de-escalate the situation. I'm not asking you to be rational in this instance, but I'm simply saying that there are plenty of different things that he could have done that didn't go all the way up to a slap.
We have to, so we have to agree on this. If you think that he could have easily restrained her with little to no injuries, we're never going to agree on this conversation. Are there people in here that think that that he could have easily restrained her and like gotten out of that situation?
The problem is with what you're saying there is when it comes to like the way that it works with security and police, right? Is there's levels, there's an actual like level chart of what the thing that you're doing to someone, right? So I think I haven't worked in security for years, but I think it's like restraining someone is like 0 level, right? Level 1 is called impact from memory, right? Which is where you actually physically like slap or punch someone. So it's actually a completely different thing. And the reason why it's classed like that is because in general, people get hurt a lot more from being slapped, from being impacted, right? And then I think there's like weapons, and then I think lethal is level 4 or whatever it is, right?
Just curious, what country do you work in?
Australia. So where this happened in Australia from Sydney. So
gotcha. Because I think in the United States, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, but in the United States, police officers aren't even allowed to like use like chokeholds or something like that. Like you're not even allowed to do that.
You can't. Like, so that's called the chest is like whatever it is, asphyxiation or whatever it is, because a lot of people get hurt. If you restrain someone and put your knee on their back, they can choke to death, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the only option that he has, is what I'm saying. And I'm completely basing this on
What?
Sorry. That was how Eric Garner died. Never mind. Let's move on.
Oh, I saw the video with the black guy in the chair afterwards with all the cops, right?
Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
The one who was selling loose cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yep, in New York.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. There's a conflict. Obviously, the woman there is at fault for starting it and is at fault for reacting or behaving in the way that she is. Okay? I don't think anyone here disagrees with that. Or maybe
then
some
we
people
probably
do,
agree on most things.
but I'm not one of those people. What?
Okay. We probably agree on most things then.
I definitely disagree with that. Keep going though. I want to hear more.
Okay. But we have to analyze the opportunity cost here. We have to look at the stakes. Okay. This doesn't require the victim of the domestic abuse in this instance to behave in a rational way. I'm not asking this person to be rational. I'm just simply stating that the slap is probably fifth on the things that you could have done in that instance. Like,
what are the things before then? What are the things before then?
Could he not have just...
we had this conversation already. Turning off the computer is number one because that's the primary request is that turn off the computer and come get food. Come get food with your family.
I totally understand what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying that the way she's going about it.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I just want to say right now, and I would bet my fucking life on this, that if we reverse these roles and a woman was sitting on a couch watching a TV and a male came in and was like, get off the fucking TV. And she's like, no. And he walked over and like hit her or something.
But is that the situation at hand? Why are we doing role reversal right now?
Because if this was a guy, because no,
specific thing where we have some details.
Because what you just said is bullshit. Because what you just said is bullshit. You're engaging in abuse or apology. If you would have just turned off the computer, she wouldn't have thrown things at him. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's not what I'm saying. She already had thrown things at him. I'm saying that she's at fault. I'm not apologizing for the abuse. But you also admit that. Wait, or maybe you don't.
Do we even understand? You understand this is like a top 20 situation too, right? He was in like a top 20 situation in this Fortnight game, okay? So there was a W. Okay, we haven't even addressed that part.
My dude's got like fucking 9 followers. Like, let's not even get into that part of the conversation.
Could have got 20 more from winning that game.
9-follower stream over here, fucking freaking out and slapping his pregnant wife over it. But that's not even the conversation I'm having. I want to ask you this. Do you think that a slap in that instance is a de-escalation or a or further escalation of violence?
I mean, it's about, I would say like it's about on level. I mean, some people could say it's an escalation.
How do you go on level? There's an action and then the reaction. The reaction.
Well, I mean, you got somebody that's throwing shit at somebody, and then you got somebody that's hitting somebody.
Yes.
Both are forms of physical violence. If you would have punched her, I would say it's 100% an escalation.
The form of physical violence by law is to put your hands on somebody with harmful intent. That is by law. Throwing something is not against the law.
No, it
Believe
is.
it or not, look it up. No, it's not. You can look up.
No, hold on, stop. You're right. Yeah, we can look it up. Okay, yeah, let's do it. We're on the internet right now. And common law, battery is the term of intentionally and voluntarily bringing about an unconsented, harmful, or offensive contact with a person or something closely associated with them. It doesn't have to be person to person. If you throw something at somebody, that can count as battery. I don't know why we're pretending it has to be.
It's not.
So
it's not. By what law?
Listen, physical violence includes, but is not limited to, using physical force, which results in pain, discomfort, or injury, hitting, pinching, hair pulling, whatever, or assault with a weapon or other object, threats with a weapon or object, deliberate exposure, whatever, and then murder. So if you're throwing something, then that's assault with a weapon. That's other object.
Oh,
it's or other object. Or other object.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a cardboard box or not. It's still not. You're, as far as the law perspective goes.
It does matter. You're blurring the lines between law and what isn't the law. It does matter.
I think the point they're trying to make though is
it's literally like I'm reading this.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, wait. We can. We don't have to debate this.
We can
just read it. The law defines assault and battery as an unwanted touching that is done in a rude or angry manner. It can be as simple as shoving someone, blocking their way, spitting at them, grabbing someone's arm, throwing something, liquid or otherwise, at them, or even grabbing something out of their hand. I mean, we can put $1,000 on this right now, and we can go Google around.
Made that up. Literally throwing water on somebody. That's not.
Do you know what the fuck I do for a fucking living on the internet? Why the fuck would I make up something?
Criminal assault is
of all the fucking this is the time where I'm gonna start making up random fucking shit to win the fucking debate on the Trainwrecks fucking podcast. Are you fucking serious right now? Is this a fucking? Am I getting punked right now? Where's fucking Andy? Bring him out and fucking give me the laws, kid.
Negative person in my life.
Why
This is like unbelievable.
Why me?
This is unbelievable.
The problem is, right, the problem is even if you don't agree with that, like if someone throws water on you, you can go, all right, whatever. It still can be classed as assault, right? That's unfortunately, no, but that's the law though.
It is, yes.
I'm looking at it right now.
No, you're not. Post what you're looking at. Post what you're looking at.
Post